first thing that we kind of get into after we kind of just get the concept of the timetable established is accent studies. These are musical examples to give us a sense of how to get into playing phrases. And this isn't dependent on having a lot of technique, which is why it happens first. The time signatures are usually relative to the type of phrase. The first thing is a two-note grouping, one accented note and one accented note. But it also gives us a real introduction to polyrhythmic phrasing, because what's going to happen is we're going to play one accented note and one unaccented note through all the subdivisions. So let's just try that. 1 and 2 and ready and play and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. B, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet. Now here's your quarter note triplet. X, right? C, 1 and 2, accented the eighth note. And now D, sextuple. Now we're accenting the eighth note triplet. All right, now let's stop. Now what I find interesting about a pattern like that, as simple as it is that the rate of speed of the accents is half as fast as the subdivision we're playing. So if I'm playing eighth notes, my accent pattern is quarter notes. And if I'm playing eighth note triplets, my accent pattern is quarter note triplets. And if I'm playing 16th note, my accent pattern is eighth notes. And if I'm playing 16th note triplets, my accent pattern is eighth note triplets. Think about what you could do with that on a drum set, right? Let's just double the tempo for fun. You know, I might start here. I might say, some hip stuff to play, you know? You got all these kind of things to work with if you can see those relationships. Another thing that's good for your time, let's play it at this tempo for a second. Same thing, no repeats, just 2 bars each, all the way down the line. 1, 2, ready, and. Now just play the accents. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Why is that harder?
Because you have open space.
Yeah. So what do you think about to fill that space up? Yeah, the notes you're not playing. It's all right there. 1, 2, again, and. It's just that simple. All this kind of stuff is available. It's nice to just sit and play them on the snare, because that's easy. What you want to think about when you start to look at them is you want to start to think about the relationships of the phrases, because that's important, you know. Elliot Fine always taught me to get off the page. If I had an exercise like number 1 to look at, he'd have me start to think about all the different kind of ways I could play it. So you want to just think about things. You know, moving the accent to another drum is simple. We've all done plenty of that. I was showing you how to do that with the cymbal and the bass drum. Substitute the bass drum for the unaccented note, right? Just so you say it like that's nice. You can make some nice noise with that. You can substitute the accents. They can become flams, right? When you're playing music, you're not going to play the timetable necessarily, but you're going to want to be solid, and you're going to want to be able to create phrases. If I do something like this, now the timetable becomes even a little more musical, because what happens to the phrase I've created? It compresses. And if I can expand and contract that musical device, I might be able to generate something hip out of that, you know? Right? You know what I mean? Songwriters use hooks to make their song memorable. And a melody is a combination of notes and rhythm into a simple and memorable combination. That's the definition of a melody. So we can easily make our drumming instantly more melodic if we just start to see how some of these relationships work and experiment a little bit with the phrasing and start to come up with an idea that, you know, maybe it expands and contracts a little bit. This is nothing new. I mean, like, have you ever heard Elvin Jones play? You know, it's all over the place. Now, another thing that I get into in accent studies that I just want to lay on you relates to hand drumming. And hand drumming applied to the drum set and doing things with pitch and melody and all that stuff like that is getting more and more popular for trap set players. One of the things about it, you know, where you would have open tones and muted tones and anything, different kinds of tones in between, that you might want to start to bring out on your drum set with your sticks. When I would first hear drummers do that, I would be very impressed by that, and I was trying to find a way in. And one of the ways in that occurred to me was just to take accent phrases and start to think about changing up the order. Instead of always rebounding off the drum, like if I use this drum, it makes a good example because it's very resonant. What happens to the pitch of the note when I dead stick it or mute it? It goes out. Yeah. Unaccented note, because one truism about percussion is the harder you strike something percussively, the higher it goes in pitch. Is everybody aware of that? Doesn't matter what it is. So when you're looking for tones, you know, now mute the accent. Kind of depends on what you're thinking of and what you want to get out of the sound.